Yo, what's platinum?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
I'm RowLow.
I'm Tall Josh.
And this is Pool House Vibes,
Hey, the Pool House Vibes.
where we talk about everything.
And anything. What's going on?
Damn! Episode number 4, officially.
It's officially number 4, yeah. feel like a Back to the Future moment right
Yeah,
there.
Groundhog Day, boy.
Yeah, last time.
Bill
That's
Murray
funny.
in the building.
So, here we are.
Yeah, we are
Back
here.
at it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super stoked, though, because after this episode, Amazon's going to deliver the new equipment for the better improved episodes after this one. So I think
Podcast gear.
Podcast gear. I only had to work like 3 weeks for it, but it's coming. It's going to arrive in a couple days, I think, and then we're off to the races after that. We're going to make this a little bit better. The quality is going to be a little bit better.
Yeah. I'm excited.
What's going on with you, man? I haven't talked to you in a week. Haven't seen you in a week, I should say. I talked to you, but haven't seen you.
Just working on music.
Music?
Yep,
Right.
yep.
Cool.
Yep.
I'm
New
just
tracks,
doing-
new stuff's going on Spotify with AM/FM, and I released a song.
Cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just started school today. Back at the school gang. It's going to be interesting. There's going to be a lot of production coming out of me this semester, which is I'm really nervous about it. I can't wait. It's like a TV newsy thing. It's like newsy documentary, like Vice News. There, that's how the teacher and a teacher's aide. And
Dude, I was watching Vice the other day, and I saw this video about this dude doing credit card scams.
oh, really?
And he went so detailed into it, and I mean, the only thing they blurred out was his face and
Yeah.
lowered his voice. But if I was a detective, I literally would be able to find out who that guy was.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I was like, this guy gave away his whole shebang, his whole operation.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, this guy is giving away everything. He's talking about how he's gonna get in the game, he's gonna get out of the game, and what he does, how he has the swipers, how he's got the chip reader now, and he can crunch numbers. He goes on the dark web and he gets credit card numbers and he crunches them in and then he swipes them. And I was like, dude, this is crazy. I guess they call it like Zoe.
Huh.
Zoe, that's the
sure, I don't
term
know.
for it.
Yeah.
Like if you're like a Zoe god or whatever, then you're a credit card
Interesting.
scamming god.
I hope he never gets my credit card information.
Well, I mean, not only
he won't
that,
be able to spend very much.
well, the problem. Well, the way that he says it, the way that he broke it down was he was like, if I take $3,000 from somebody's account, they're not liable for it. The banks and the insurance
If they
agencies
catch
that are in
it.
place will accommodate them, and they won't really feel the impact of it. So somebody's going to feel the impact of it, right? Like it's usually the insurance companies or whoever's in charge.
FDIC.
Whoever's in charge of protecting the people from these scams. But he's like, the banks do it. Why can't I? That was his
No, for real.
justification.
2008, yeah.
Oh,
It's
dude,
just-
it was ridiculous.
We're gonna what I feel and what I think is like they had like a moment of Oprah where they were just like, you get some money, you get some money, you get some money, everybody gets some money to buy a house, and then everybody's like, yeah, I'm gonna buy 5 houses, but I don't know how I'm gonna pay for it if all this shit goes bad.
Right. Well, I mean that's.
And then the shit went bad.
yeah, the bubble popped.
Yeah. And now it's like all these houses are just like abandoned everywhere where that shit happened, and you're just like, shit.
Yeah,
I hope that never happens again. And then the government was like, whoa, we really fucked up on that one, didn't we? We're just gonna go brush that bitch under the rug.
Yeah, I mean that's a good surface overview of what happened in at least the housing market. But
Yeah.
the whole entire financial industry was fucked for and has been for a very long time. It's all fiat money, but whatever.
Yeah, so we were talking about Tekashi 6ix9ine last episode, I believe, and some new stuff has happened since we've talked about that.
There's a phone conversation.
Oh, I didn't even know this.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
He straight up. He was like, he was talking about. He's like, a lot of people they don't understand. They don't understand what I go through. They don't understand what I'm going through right now. He was,
Yeah.
He was saying he's like, hey, I guess Snoop Dogg had some words to say about my case or whatever. He beat his murder charge, but But he's like, these people don't understand real life. I'm not fitting here to duel all this time. Like he was just literally saying like, if you don't understand why I'm cooperating, then you don't understand how life works. But on the street side of it, it's like some people did understand the code of the streets, and they're doing 40, 50 years because of that code, and it means so much to them. And
I think it all goes back to that saying where it's if you can't do the time,
don't do the crime. He said, I made a lot of mistakes,
A lot of mistakes? Yeah.
Hey.
47 years worth of mistakes is what the FBI is looking at.
Well, I mean,
I get why he's cooperating, because he's saving his own ass. Everybody, in the end of the day, is going to save their own ass.
Right, but is he really though? Because they're
kind of.
There's some repercussions, because he's got to have a mark on his head for probably the rest of his life. Provided that's actually what he's doing.
I think he jumped into the wrong color of Kool-Aid one too many times to dye his hair, and he drowned. He drowned in too much of that lifestyle where he didn't even need to be in that lifestyle, which I don't personally think.
Well, to get to where he was, or to get to where he made it to, like J. Cole was saying, they want him to rot a picture of him in a cot looking up at the cell or whatever, wondering if it was all worth it or not. And it's like, that's the self-reflective moment that I'm sure that he had, or he was having before, up to and before the moment he decided to admit to all of those felonies or whatever. He was like, well, I could sit here forever, or I can just snitch on everybody and get out.
And I don't know that he did he fully snitch on everybody, or did he just say, yeah, I did all these things?
Well, I don't know either, but what the news that's surfacing,
right,
and what the sensationalized headlines are saying,
right,
is that he is admitting who he was involved with, and I did notice though that you're right. It said, I paid someone to shoot at a rival to scare them.
Right,
I did this, I did that, I did all these things, and so it seems as if he's kind of like figuring out a way to finesse even snitching. He's flipping snitching as his first baby mom says. I think she called him King Flippa. It's kind of funny. I was listening to her on live, and she was talking to the audience on Instagram, and she said how he's a little manipulative, according to her. These are her words,
Yeah.
And how he's King Flippa. He can flip any situation to make it so he can come out on top of it. And you can kind of see that that's how his career manifested. His career manifested as, like you said, diving deep into some crazy shit, and then just being like, yo, how can I come up on top of this situation, and making it. But the music kind of speaks for itself. His music defends itself. You can't take away his creativity. You can't take away the creative element of what he did. He was very creative with it. He was misguided, and unfortunately, I trace it back to that moment where he admitted that his father was murdered, like on his doorstep, pretty much, or right in front of him, like not too far from him.
Right, I didn't know that.
At 13 years old, dude, that is going to literally.
Oh yeah.
This is what America created this person. You know what I mean? Like the United States, however harsh the conditions are in the United States, is fully responsible for creating a person like this, and he's
the persona.
And I think he's kind of. And we don't not to take away from everybody else's individual responsibility to express themselves how they see fit, but I feel that we as a collective have created what he ended up being like.
Yeah, I think a lot of the younger audience though did, not so much the older audience, because I don't know. I mean, yeah. I've listened to a couple of songs and I like the beats. I don't necessarily. I can't get with like the lyrics per se, but I like some of the beats that he picked or his producer picked, and then was able for him to rap on. Yeah, because I don't think that he created those, right? I mean, maybe he did. I don't know. I don't know anything about him.
Yeah,
maybe you do.
Yeah, no, he worked with producers, but as far as his lyrics go, it's very aggressive, in your face lyrics, and that's what he was known for.
Right.
It was funny. I was on a trip with some buddies, with some old friends. We go like pretty much almost like once a year up north, or just on a road trip, wherever. This time we happened to go up north, and it's a long drive, and so we have all kinds of time to catch up and shit, and one of the things that I showed them, I showed them Tekashi. I was like, now imagine if you were like in the 1930s, right?
Yeah.
And you showed like what was it, the breakout smash Gummo, I think it was. And you like showed Gummo to somebody from the 1930s. And my buddy Daniel was like, "Oh my God, this looks like a dystopian nightmare of the future." You know what I mean? Like these dudes like running around on cars like outside of in front of the building, all with like red bandanas and like face tats, and it was just hilarious.
Now, are you saying somebody like that's still living now?
No.
In
Like
the
if you were to
30s?
travel back into time, and you were to show them, like I don't know, even if you would be able to, but obviously they'd be like, "Ooh, what is this device? Ooh, shit."
But the thing is that you can right now, though. You can, like, there's people that are still alive that were around in the 1930s,
right? Yeah.
Where you could like show them this person,
yeah,
and you could be like, "What do you think about this?"
That's why those YouTube videos of like parents react to XYZ artists go viral, because the parents have this a completely different generational viewpoint that they express.
And I'm like, I almost feel like I'm like living in a nightmare, though, being in my 30s, like you saying that, and then like 20 years from now I'll be like in my 50s, right? And that like that's literally gonna happen to you and I.
Well,
and I'm like
maybe
nervous.
I try to keep an ear to the youth and ear to the streets, and I just don't.
Right.
I don't
no,
like.
But
to
it will happen between you and I, because you probably won't react as like drastic as maybe I will,
right?
Because your kid is musically inclined, so he'll be in like the music realm, I believe.
Right.
In his 20s, where he will be, I don't know. I hope good things, but like I'm just thinking, like I hope music. I guess what I'm trying to say is I hope music gets better.
Yeah.
Like it gets out of this like weird, funky phase of like weirdness, and gets back to like the understanding the lyrics, and it's not so much like, I don't know, like I get like I like sheckwes, right? I love those beats. I don't know who created sheckwes beats. I think maybe he did too, but man, I don't know. It's just like it's like I want to hate it, but at the same time I like it.
Right. Yeah. No,
I don't even know why I like it.
Well, that's the polarizing effect that a lot of people have with people like a Tekashi, because it's there, bro. It's the beats are there, the sonic. Future even the same. When he's talking about lean, Molly, X, drugs, and it's like, do you realize, dude, you're guiding a whole generation of people into their own destruction. Like, these people are like, oh, I wonder what lean is like. Oh, am I gonna hold some lean? And then all of a sudden they can become addicted to it, and now they're on opiates, and their legs are going crazy, and they don't even know what's going on, what reality.
He's the bus driver, and we're trying to pull our children away from the bus stop.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, come on, the magic school bus, bro.
Right.
Holy snap.
Which is totally trippy too, because that shit's on Netflix, and my wife, she puts that on for our kid, like the magic school bus, and I'm just like, yo, who the hell was writing this shit in the 70s? Like, I think it was the 70s when it came out or whatever. It was just like, this is some freaking like acid ass shit.
Watch it muted.
Right? Like, just go smoke a bowl real quick,
man,
and just like sit there and just be like, what am I watching right now?
Yeah, dude. Come along and ride.
Speaking of getting high, how old were you when you first got high?
The first time I ever did, I was already 20, in my early 20s, probably like 23.
Really?
Yeah, 23.
You know how old I was when I got high for the first time?
Huh.
I was 9 years old.
Holy
9 or 10
shit.
years old.
That explains it. No. I've had more time for my brain to develop.
Right?
For my brain development. Nah, I'm just messing.
It was a weird, and I still to this day remember it. Like the memory was like, bam, just imprinted in my dome. I was spending the night at the neighbor's house, and his older brother was, God, I want to say like 8 to 10 years older than us. Yeah. So he was about 10 years older than us, right? So him and his buddies, 19, 20s, and they thought it was a good idea to be like, hey, so and so, here, smoke this, and then my buddy was just like, hey, you want some? And I was like, yeah, sure.
Oh shit.
And I was like, right?
Yeah.
Dude, after that, my throat and my tongue was all dry, and I'm like, damn, I'm so thirsty, bro. And we went in and we were drinking like Dr. Pepper and orange soda and whatnot. And I was like, dude,
Nothing hydrating.
no. And I was like, dude, I'm hungry, bro. And it was a Mexican family, right? So I mean, they have fucking leftovers for days, bro. So I'm sitting there like I'm eating fucking carne asada burritos. I'm eating chips and salsa and guacamole, and we're sitting there watching like R-rated movies and whatnot. And I'm
So you
like,
turn into a teenager at night.
yeah, dude. I grew up fast. And I was always around older people. Like I always felt at like a young age that I had more
Maturity.
not maturity, because I'm still not necessarily mature for my age now. It's just that I don't know. I'm missing the terminology and the words for it, but I just got along with older people.
Right.
And
I did too. I like growing up. I had friends that were already in high school and stuff, and I'm in elementary school, and we were running out. But they were protective in a way.
Right.
They kind of kept it cool. But the thing about like my first weed story, it was keef. It was a bowl of keef.
Oh, okay.
And it was just like, what? Are you kidding me? Like the hardest thing that you could possibly smoke, like condensed, concentrated THC crystals that were accumulated at the bottom of a grinder. That's what I put in, or that's what my buddy put into the bowl and was like, yo, wait, you're smoking with me for the first time? Hold up. He reached back in his cabinet. He's like, dude, I gotta make this special,
pulled out the
bro.
fucking Holy Grail
He's like,
shit.
he poured this in the bowl. I was like, well, no, I was down to smoke weed. I don't know what this is. I didn't want to smoke crack. And he's just like, no, man, this is keef. I was like, what the fuck is keef, dude? I don't know what the hell that is. And he's just like, no, dude, trust, it's weed, but it's like the part of the weed that matters. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And so I did, and I was the biggest asshole to this girl that I was talking to, like on the face of the earth.
Really?
Like, cause I would consider myself an emotionally intelligent person.
Yeah.
And I was always very communicative of how I was feeling. We go to Fridays, right? I'm just zonked. Looking around, like, dude, I'm like going through a spaceship. To go from the spaceship, that which was the vehicle, getting into the portal of Fridays, sitting down, and we were just sitting there, and she comes up to me. She's like, "Hey, what's up? Like, it's good to see you. Like, I haven't seen you in a few days." Da, da, da. And I was like, "Your hair looks awkward." Like, just straight whatever thought was in my mind, and I could see just her whole entire emotional state just warp into like sadness, and I was like, oh shit, I have that much power over somebody's emotional state, dang. And it just affected me so much. But like, you can't really care when you're in that state. You're just kind of like, nachos are coming.
Yeah.
And like, anyway, I'm gonna eat now. Like, I turned into like a grade schooler. But I'm 23 at the time, dude. Oh, dude. It was a weird experience, but... And then I distinctly remember going back to the house, and that's when I ran into my buddy, and I called him Chief Sitting Bong. And just like, I remember the feeling of my balls being on fire. I was like, my balls are on fire, dude. My balls are on fire. It was so freaking weird, man.
Yeah, that's pretty intense. It's almost... I don't know, man. That's wild.
It was too much. It was like the most weed you could ever smoke ever.
Yeah,
at the very beginning.
As that saying goes, the dopest dope I ever smoked.
Man. That's wild. I mean, like, that gets me thinking, like, now we have stories coming out that you would think somebody's high or whatever that
right.
is releasing the stuff, but like there's this tiger, right? This like 1,000-pound overweight tiger that was found in an abandoned home in Houston.
Oh, wow. Houston, Texas.
Yeah. And it's this overweight tiger. And I guess, and it was funny because some pot smokers were trying to, some pot smokers, I can't believe I just said that. Anyway, some stoners were trying to go in there, and they were like just straight up they're trying to find a place to smoke out. And then they discovered, they stumbled upon a tiger.
That's crazy.
That was, and the news article, the sensationalized news article says, tiger discovered in abandoned home. Overweight tiger discovered in an abandoned
I like
home.
how they threw that in there, like
Yeah.
overweight tiger. Like,
Well,
I don't even think I've ever seen like an overweight lion or tiger.
Yeah, well, that's
Like even in the wild, right?
Yeah, right. They seemed pretty fit. But you think about it logically, like, wait, the home's abandoned. The tiger's overweight. What happened to the people? That tiger that ate some people.
Yo, so speaking of like rare animals being somewhere where they're not supposed to be, so I just saw this article where there's polar bears. Polar bears like walked across, or like got stuck. Like I want to say that they walked across that from like the Alaska area, whatever that the Bering Strait or whatever that is up there, where it like freezes over and then like you can like walk across it.
Right.
Like some amount of time or whatever, but these polar bears were like in this like Russian island, and they've like these polar bears have never been there, right? And so they're like stuck on this island. These people have no idea why they're there, and they start killing them. You know,
The bears start killing the people?
no.
The people start killing the bears?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And like polar bears are going extinct.
Right.
And there's pictures of them on Twitter where they're like going through like rubble and rubbish and like just trash. It's crazy. Like I saw this picture and I was like, yo, somebody just made a stupid meme and photoshopped these bears in this garbage, right? And then all of a sudden you start scrolling down even more and you see these polar bears like it's like they're legit like scavenging through trash. And it's like big mounds of trash, like at a dump, but it's like not a dump.
Weird. It's kind of like some District 9 stuff.
Yeah, it was wild, and I'm like, dude, it's really sad, you know, at the same time, you know, but it's wild too. Like
On a lighter note, what animal do you think would be the cutest if scaled down to the size of a cat?
maybe a koala.
A koala as a cat? I'm talking like large. Imagine like a giraffe cat, or like you know,
okay.
like
I don't know. Maybe a hippo?
Oh yeah,
Maybe a hippo.
That'd probably be the cutest, huh? Like a little hippo.
Yeah, like a little maybe a hippo. Yeah, maybe a hippo.
Yeah, hippo. Dude, I would agree with you on that. I was thinking
'Cause
elephant.
they're fucking huge.
I was thinking elephant,
Oh,
but
elephant
elephants
too?
are kind of awkward.
Yeah, but elephants
to
are
try-
like when they're like little baby elephants. I mean,
Yeah.
they come out like
Yeah.
they come out like already
All
like
of them
600
do.
pounds or
Yeah.
some shit like that. But I don't know.
Hippo, dude,
I think
because they have the mouths.
yeah, they're huge and they're like really aggressive too. Like they're one of the most aggressive
Yeah,
species.
they'll come at you.
Oh. Fucking you ever see that video where they're in the boat and all of a sudden the fucking hippo comes out like his jaws and shit, like trying to eat the people and push the boat over and shit. And the people
I've only experienced that live at Disneyland.
at
the Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, the Jungle Cruise, the Safari Cruise. Yeah, that's funny as all hell.
So 21 Savage released. How did that come about? JayZ, huh? JayZ hooked him up.
JayZ got that lawyer game going on for him strong.
Wow. And all of the other people that kind of are facing what he's facing are still in there.
I don't know if they're facing the
Not
same
all,
thing,
but I mean, well, it's pretty
there's
much
people still in there.
It's black and white, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that some of those people had access to the type of legal team that he had.
I don't even know who the fuck's in ICE control, so
I don't either.
know,
but it's just interesting to me to know that that kind of thing can happen,
yeah.
where somebody can get released like that, and with similar charges.
Yeah.
Other people aren't. But again, I don't know the extent of it, and I don't want to speak ignorantly about it. And it may be very specific to his, and he may still be having to fight it. He's just fighting it on bond.
Do you know what happened or the cause of the whole thing for him to get arrested?
It's a good question. I mean, there's many theories about it, but there wasn't a verse added to his song "A Lot" with J. Cole, where he was talking about the Flint water crisis, where he was talking about immigration, how he wouldn't imagine having his child at the border. And
Oh, so you're saying there's like conspiracy theories about it?
I'm not saying that. No confirmation bias here at all. You can't.
Oh, okay.
There's no. It's just that's what the internet is buzzing about, and you can kind of see there's some. You can see that there's some sort of there could be some sort of connection, but you have to draw your own conclusions based off of that. My own goal is to just provide the information. Another aspect of it is there was a interview that he did with academics.
Who's that?
djakademics. He's like he's kind of like the headline deliverer, I would say, of the new youth culture in a way, where you got like No Jumper, you got academics, you got a few other platforms that are the Breakfast Club sometimes can tune into it, but mainly like academics, No Jumper, and then and Thomas Live is another one. They cover all the latest up and coming artists that are noteworthy. Academics kind of got to start doing Chirac coverage with all the drama with all like Chief Keef and the whole entire drill music movement in Chicago. That was
Chirac. Yeah.
So that's kind of how he built the foundation of his early career, and he's gotten a lot of flack on the internet too, because it feels as if sometimes that he would perpetuate the violence in a way by reporting on it and glorifying it and making but regardless, he's got a position now with Complex on that show Daily Struggle, I think it is. And anyway, he reported he started creating a little different bit of content. One of the I think I sent that to you, the part 2 of 21.
Oh yeah.
So that's academics. He did a direct interview with 21 Savage, and 21 Savage invited him into his world in a way. Yeah. And I got a strong insight into how it was, and it's like I suspected all along. He's a product of his upbringing. He's a product of his environment. He's a product of the lack, that is caused from a society of capitalism, essentially. And there are people that win, there are people that lose, and he had the lot where people were losing. He was without. There was a scarcity mentality. He sold drugs in order to get the latest shoes that he wanted. Because he didn't necessarily have access. He didn't have opportunity, and that resulted in further and further, I guess, infringements upon other people's rights. And not rights, but sovereignty. Meaning like kicking down doors and
robbing
people straight up. And so he basically came down to the point where he's like, I have to act because I've done a lot of things to a lot of people. I have to act as if somebody's trying to kill me everywhere I go. And anybody that isn't doing that,
karma basically.
And anybody that isn't doing that, those are the people that die. You know what I mean? And he got shot. He got shot 6 times. His friend got shot twice. His friend died. He lived. And he felt.
That video that you sent me that you said like watch the second half of this. Yeah.
And so it's really intense how something like that can formulate your actions, but and how you can have almost like even survivor's remorse. This guy's got post-traumatic stress syndrome from living here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's yes, a lot of what the decisions that we make and a lot of the decisions that those individuals make lead them to that point, but it's kind of like there are so many people that are. The way I see it, it's almost like sperm, in a way. Like there's so many sperm that come out of the nut, and there's only one that like makes it out, makes it into the egg, or maybe 2, whatever. With the case of twins or triplets or whatnot. But like regardless, they are the ones that did everything they could to get to the point where they have. They're the haves instead of the have-nots. Yeah. And sometimes that involves taking other people's lives and sacrificing so much so to the point where whatever they do have, they now have self-reflective moments where was this worth it? And 9 times out of 10 they would give up every single thing that they have now to go back to a time before they made the final mistake. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So
speaking of pregnancies and stuff like that, what are your thoughts on a woman getting pregnant from you, and then you have the like everybody around you, like the pressures of getting married to that woman because you got her pregnant? What are your thoughts on those?
Well, see that it's a good question. There's 2 different sides to that. One, it's her perspective and how she feels and what she wants internally, right?
Right.
And then it's what other people around her want. And there's a balance. We grow up, we live in a balance of catering to what other people want and catering to exclusively what we want. And the more that we focus on exclusively what we want, the more selfish we're perceived to be.
Right.
The more that we cater to what other people want, the more, I don't want to say gracious, but the more, I don't know, amicable we appear to be, you know? And so if a woman does that, and then all of a sudden the next move that's made is, you know, she's pregnant, that means that there has been an extremely strong influence for unifying that bond between two people in her life, and that she genuinely feels as if that's something that should happen, or the dude maybe even. He's like, you know, I have to marry you. We can't be doing this if we're not getting married, right?
Right.
In my opinion, for the child, it ends up being a good thing, because at the very least, the child ends up seeing, oh, my parents at some point were in love so much so to the point where they got married and they formulated an virtually, you know, now everything's crazy in this world,
Right.
Unbreakable bond. You know, at some point, my parents were married. You know what I mean? Whether it's before, whether it's after, and nowadays things are changing so much. You have women marrying women, dudes marrying dudes. You have if there's a woman that's marrying another woman and a dude that's marrying another dude, it's freaking cool. Like that's how they feel, and so a woman that gets married to a dude after she gets pregnant is like way low on the like judgment scale from my perspective. Like it's just okay, so you know that's what they should have decided to do. Cool. Like if you're sticking your dick in a chick and she gets pregnant, if you're married or if you're not, the power of that experience supersedes every single societal construct that we can put on, in my opinion. Because, like, bringing a child into this world is such a huge deal.
Yeah, it's big.
That
big
it's
time.
such a freaking, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, I definitely know what you're saying.
That for me, I don't think I could get married to someone that I couldn't have kids with, personally.
Yeah,
Like, I
agree
feel
with
it's
you.
kind of backwards. I feel like
I totally agree.
I feel like
with you.
I want to see that this chick I can have kids with this chick.
Right.
I can live with her.
Yep.
She can raise my kids.
Yep.
Then I'll fucking marry her. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
that's how I genuinely feel.
That's how I feel. That's why I feel too. And I'm mildly biased when it comes to this question. And I asked you mainly because I saw it on Instagram. I noticed there was a person that did this.
They announced that they got pregnant, and then
Right,
they announced they got
it seems like, you know, like that's the way it was going, or that's the way it happened. I could be wrong. But I perceived it that way, and so that's why I brought that as a topic. But I'm mildly biased because of that situation, and I can't give an honest answer to you and my perspective because I was that situation. My parents got married because the pressures of everybody around them telling them that they need to get married, you know, and how you were saying, and it actually ended up very bad. Not
like an anchor baby type of thing situation.
Yeah, but they weren't. Supposed
That's why
to,
you joined the Navy. You're the anchor baby.
No, that's not. No,
I'm just teasing.
I get it. But my dad joined the Air Force.
Oh shit!
Because he was like, "How am I going to take care of this kid?" So
Air Force is the hardest branch to get into, though, isn't it?
I don't know.
Out of the three,
Maybe,
Marines,
maybe.
Army, or four, Navy.
He's a smart
Air
guy,
Force.
though.
Yeah, Air Force, I think is up there.
So I feel like my dad making that accidental choice in life gave him his ultimate career, which it turned out like he loved it up until he passed away. But yeah, they weren't in love with one another. They didn't belong with one another as the ultimate thing should have been. I'm very grateful that I'm here. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, being told when you're young that you were in an accident is probably not the best thing to hear.
Yeah, all the parents out there try to maybe like say that when the kid's like old enough to take it, when they got enough thick skin.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I you know, my situation. Besides that, my personal situation with my wife is, you know, we were married for 2 years, I think. 2.5 years before she got pregnant. So it was just like I'd already known, like real early on in our relationship, like it was like probably from like the very first night that I met her. Like I was like, this is it. I've like my destination of finding a female to be married to, that's gonna put up with my bullshit for the rest of my life, our lives together. Like I was like, this is her, And then I go and I meet her family. They're phenomenal, dude. Oh, like you couldn't have asked for a better in-laws for me in my eyes. I met them. They were very open. They're an open doors, open arms type of family, man. And
they're great.
I showed up, and her dad was like, "Hey, do you want a beer? You want to play some pool?" Like, I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then ever since, like I said, ever since that first night that I hung out with her.
Oh, I'm gonna stick a baby in that.
No, it wasn't even like that. No, I had that. I told her, I'd done that with so many other girls. Like we met each other, and then we hooked up
through the process. Yeah, courting.
Yeah,
Courting process.
And I was just like, I told her, I said, I don't want to do that with you. Like, you mean a lot more to me. And not saying that those other women didn't mean anything to me, but there was just, it was just, I guess I was just older. The experience of being with different types of females, that it was just like, I knew what I wanted, and it was presented to me in front of me, and I was like, hell yeah, this is exactly who I need to be with. Funny, outgoing.
So to add to your point,
yeah,
those people that do this kind of stuff, they may experience exactly what you're experiencing,
right?
But the whole marriage part comes afterwards, where they're like, oh wait, we really liked each other. We liked each other so much so to the point where now we're having a kid, but we kind of forgot about the part where we got the love part, we got the family part, but all these our parents and the society and all these social constructs are saying marriage is also something that needs to happen. It's better for the children, get married, and da-da-da, and all these, and it's like, wait a minute. Oh, wait, yeah, well, however susceptible you are to that is what is going to ultimately cause your decision to be made.
And it's kind of shitty, though, because if you think about it, like how open and understanding we are now, but 40, 50 years ago, it was like that shit was mandatory. Like,
you would have been ostracized if you did.
Yeah, and it's so sad to think about it.
Well, I mean, even in Europe, it's like, oh, did you have the kid in wedlock or out of wedlock? And it's like, it's a thing. It's the UK is a whole different place, because now they're dealing with Brexit. And they're dealing with, oh man, dude,
with what?
Brexit. What's that? So there's. Brexit is essentially, they're trying to split from the European Union, and they have already split currency wise. The euro doesn't work in the UK anymore.
What?
It's just the pound again. I mean, they're back
okay.
And so they're. I mean, that goes. If we start talking about that, we're going to start going into conspiracies and the inner city of London controlling the financial sector, and the Washington D.C. controlling the military, and the Vatican controlling the religious sector, and that's a whole other conversation. But before we get too deep into it, I kind of wanted to touch base on the music end of what we wanted to do for some Pool House vibes.
Oh yeah,
music
definitely.
Listening. There was a link that was dropped. I put a little post up. I said, hey, in tonight's episode, if you want to get your song, listen to and review.
Yeah. And a review, yeah.
Yeah. And we can listen. The Faded Native dropped it. The song's called Lifted and Gifted, and it's produced by Mad Mexican.
Mad Mexican. What a name.
Yup.
Mad Mexican.
It's perfect for out here.
shoes, and then you'll see. The reason why we stay liquored up and high off weed is plain to see. We keeps a G. Cruise with us as we ride these streets. Take a couple steps in our shoes, and then you'll see. The reason why we stay liquored up and high off weed is plain to see. We keeps a G.
Smoking on the best, so if you smell dank in the air, you can point the finger over here. No sticks, stems, nor seeds. Toke the choke just to remain sane. A firm of weed is a fernity. Perp skirt got me feeling at peace. A yabba dabba doo, now my mind blooms, but I can't move in my city with the lady oh so pretty. She goes by the name of Mary Jane. I'm underneath these palm trees, cause that's where I reside, and you already know it's not the pride. Every time I fly by, just another fly guy. That's probably why she really wanna give me a try. So who am I to deny the twinkle in the eye? Can't lie, one look at me and she said, boy, you're too high. Pass me on by, so I proceeded to get high.
Cruise with us as we ride these streets. Take a couple steps in our shoes, and then you'll see. The reason why we stay liquored up and high off weed is plain to see. We keeps a G. Cruise with us as we ride these streets. Take a couple steps in our shoes, and then you'll see. The reason why we stay liquored up and high off weed is plain to see. We keeps a G. Now we're here to make it bounce. More smoke goes in my mouth than anything else. Give a fuck now about these motherfuckers hating on my style. Got to get smoked, I got black and mouth. Mad cause they bitch gone wild. Fat ass with big titties. You can catch me, you big badass. Cat City. Philly faded, I'm just saying, but never spraying. In the hood with little kids be playing. Every day I'm praying. No buck, making people duck, running like hut, taking off, hiding in the cut. That's why I keep a strap tucked. For stupid situations, try to get you stuck. Running out of luck, now I'm back with a blunt. Back, where you from? It's a fact, fools get attacked if they try to front. Disrespectful punks, try to get their game tight. Better get my name right, that's why every day I stay high. Cruise with us as we ride these streets. Take a couple steps in our shoes, and then you'll see. The reason why we stay liquored up and high off weed is plain to see. We keeps a G. Cruise with us as we ride these streets. Take a couple steps in our shoes, and then you'll see. The reason why we stay liquored up and high off weed is plain to see. We keeps a G. Cruise with us as we ride these streets. Take a couple steps in our shoes, and then you'll see. The reason why we stay liquored up and high off weed is plain to see. We keeps a G. We get fucked.
Yo. All right. Once again, that was Lifted and Gifted by Faded Native, Mad Mexican production. So, damn, that's definitely that Southern California, West Coast, you know, like sound right now that's coming out of the Coachella Valley, man. That's like, it's staying true. I'm almost like a little bit of a Cypress Hill vibe, you know, mixed with a little, you know, they even dropped a little reggae, you know, like dink, dink, dink. That was dope. There was a few bars in there where I was like, oh, he missed the deny. Oh, I wanted that deny to be like right exactly on the bar. But other than that, I was vibing to that song. I would not want to pull up on the Mad Mexican with any kind of ill intentions or Faded Native. Dog. Shouts out Faded Native. I've even had a chance to freestyle back in the day with Faded Native, which is a little bit of a personal connection. Yeah, dude.
Oh, okay.
We all got down in Humble God Studio back in the day. And I think I've rocked a show at one point with Mad Mex, not together, but he was also performing at the same venue. And yeah, talented dudes, man. I think they need to keep it up. What'd you think?
So when it comes to music, I'm not too much of a lyrics guy. I tend to listen to the beat more.
Right.
And that's how I get to liking any genre really. If I like the beat and the way that everything comes together, I'm more of like a whole half package guy than more of the full package guy. So with the beat, I felt like I was missing like a deeper, like maybe not necessarily like a deep bass, like not like a dark deep bass, but like I don't know, just maybe more like a little more of a bassy, like a do, you know, like it was real flat.
Oh, okay.
But no, I see with the style what he was going for. He was going for like that the old school, lowrider cholo like feel, and I definitely I could hear it. I could definitely hear it. Yeah, I just a little bit more bass for me, but look, I don't know. I guess I'm mildly biased because I love bass.
Right.
So
Also, just in their defense, we did just play it through the phone.
yeah, this is true. This is true. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna try
so
to.
maybe.
I'm gonna do my best to pop the actual song in.
Oh, okay.
On the edit.
Oh,
but-
well, yeah. I'll definitely have to. I'll definitely have to listen to it with my headset and hear if maybe that's what it was. Like the phone's not picking up the bass. Yeah. Okay. So maybe I might have to eat my words on that one. But regardless, no, it was good. I mean, anybody that takes the time to put themselves out there, I could definitely appreciate it. Like we are right now.
Right.
We're putting ourselves out there. We're just two guys talking. Yeah, so I have to take myself for this instance for you and just be like mad humble and admit when I'm wrong. And one of those moments is right now. I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking about germs and viruses. And they were saying that, you can go from one place to another and not be technically sick, but you can bring the virus with you, and then you become sick. And you told me 3 months ago, I think it was, when I got sick, and you were like, you had that shit like a week ago, and now you're sick. And I was like, shut the fuck up. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, I got sick 2 days ago. Somebody got me sick, blah, 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 blah. So they had even said that that's what happened. Like, somebody sneezes around you or whatever. Like you get that like a cold, or you get a virus from somebody.
Right.
And then you take it with you.
Incubation period.
Yeah. So with that, I apologize for arguing with you on something that you knew a little bit more about than I did.
Hey, all right. I accept your apology, sir. Kind sir. Cheers to that. Some LaCroix.
There you go, little tambourine.
Yep. Tangerine Tiger. Shouts out Riff Raff. Yeah, man. So, dude, speaking of music, man, did you see the Grammys or like any highlights from the Grammys this weekend?
I barely saw like a little snippet of what Cardi B wore on the red carpet.
Yeah, that dress
thing
was fire.
Wild, bro.
Oh man, she knows how to show out, man. She's a jack of clubs. I mean, that's how we roll.
Did you see the other girl?
So was Riff. Riff is a jack of clubs.
Did you see the other
So
girl?
am I.
I forgot her name, but she wore like somebody made a like a Statue of Liberty-esque type thing, and then she had like barbed wire on her shoulders, and she was wearing this like Statue of Liberty crown.
I didn't see that
deal. And
then
she took it off.
Uh-huh.
And it had the actual dress. Was bricks, a wall, right?
Oh,
and then on the back it says "Build the Wall," and then her purse says "Make America Great Again." And guess what her skin color was?
Black.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was thrown off. I was like, wow.
So this is we're in the age of trolling, bro. We're in the troll generation right now. This is like we're all trolls. Everybody's trolling each other. It's no news. Like I mean, Kanye's trolling Trump. Trump's trolling us.
Yeah.
Trump is literally, dude. This is the first time I've ever seen a president like when he did his presidential address. He literally trolled everyone. He didn't mention anything about the freaking I mean, I don't know if he mentioned anything about the shutdown. At least like all I got was the Daily Show highlights with Trevor Noah, which that's also turning really weird too. I'm like, nobody has the right perspective anymore. It's just this awkward, weird, cumulative strangeness of politics that's going on now.
So
Joy Villa. Okay.
I don't know anything about her.
That's funny.
Well, I don't know anything about her, but
I mean,
that dress was nuts.
Yeah, dude. He was like, he was taking credit for how many women are in Congress now, and it was funny because it was just like,
and
wow,
they couldn't like be mad about it.
Yeah, they were just clapping.
They all like one stood up, and then like a bunch of the women stood up, and it was like they were trying to be so mad at him, and they were wearing their white dresses and their white
Right, but they didn't have a choice. He just
yeah.
Man, it was the closest guy, dude, to Frank Underwood I've ever seen. It's Trump, man. It's freaking wild. I think it was Drake. Drake said something interesting. He was talking about the Grammys, and he said, if you've already got people buying tickets to go to your show, using their hard-earned money to drive in the rain and the snow and purchase tickets to get to your show, you've already won. You don't need one of these. And he kept going. I guess he got cut off from his speech.
Oh yeah,
at the Grammys.
I was trying to look for at what part they cut him off, and I don't know if it was just because his speech ran too long,
or what he was saying, because from the perspective of the people that run the Grammys, you kind of have to protect your investment and be like, wait, no, this draws us a lot of money each year. Even just the water sales alone, you know what I mean? It's crazy. So this draws a lot of money each year. We can't have anything negative towards it. But Eminem had a humongous protest against them. He's like, year after year, they bring all these people and then just stiff people every time, Yeah. And it's majority in the hip hop community and maybe R&B and maybe a couple other genres. But it's just interesting to see that perspective. That they're holding the Grammy, you know what I mean? They're in the suit, they're there, yet they're saying you don't need this.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, well, if you don't need it, and if nobody needs it, don't get it, don't go. You know what I mean? I just think it's a little hypocritical.
Yeah, and I think that what wasn't it, Nicki Minaj was they were trying to build up this some bullshit and some more beef between Nicki Minaj and Cardi B Nicki Minaj was crying about
Cardi winning or something.
Yeah, and just winning the
first female.
Yeah, and winning the award for best album of the year or something like that. It was I don't know. I feel like this made up bullshit just really needs to go away. It brings me back to it's
high
almost
school?
not even high school. Just the Biggie and Tupac thing. It's they're the female version of Biggie and Tupac without them actually having hits out on them and shit.
That's a good comparison in a way. But they're both from New York, so they're
right.
So
we're
Biggie and Tupac in a way.
Right.
But yeah, I could see that, and there's always going to be rivalry. I mean, hip hop is all about ego, So
True.
And the women in hip hop have had a chip on their shoulder for so long.
Oh, big time.
Because a lot of times they're just viewed as less important, and their voice didn't matter as much, and because of the bravado and the masculine nature of hip hop as it was birthed, and so when a female hip hop artist comes out, they have a larger chip on their shoulder, and they have sometimes even bigger voice and sometimes even bigger platform, because it's all of the repressed fans that have felt that women haven't had as much of a voice are rushing to support these women that are kind of their voice in a way. They're their avatars. They're their heroes, and it just goes to show that when somebody comes in and it speaks their mind more so than someone else. If someone has the ability to speak their mind more than somebody else that's in the same exact genre, people are going to naturally gravitate towards the more real person, the person that's being more forthright, the person that's being more open, the person that's not hiding anything, the person that's not putting on some sort of a fake persona that doesn't connect fully with the audience. And I feel that's where Cardi, just my opinion, is that's where Cardi is winning in a way, because she's literally just laying her heart out there, whereas Nicki is still trying to make her persona the one that is dominating your consciousness.
Yeah.
Or the one that's quote unquote best representing her. Mm-hmm. She's creating a character and making the character be the person that, but when ultimately all everybody all that everybody wants is human touch. And I mean, consensual touch, of course.
Right.
Yeah, but that's ultimately everybody wants is to be loved, and the people that have the ability to translate it the best are gonna do the most.
Yeah, no, I definitely can agree with you on that on those points. Yeah,
Like, what were you talking about? How the sheckwes just.
Yeah, I just read this. It says this singer-songwriter Justine Skye accused rapper Sheckwes of being her abuser and stalking her while she was was on a walk with her boyfriend and friends.
Abuser?
Yeah, she's.
See, nowadays we have to get very, very specific with the allegations.
There you go. It says, talking a walk with my friends and my man in Sheckwes, my abuser, and his friends decided to stalk us and attack my friends. 2 cars full of the N-word while he sat in the car like a bitch. You're pathetic, Shek, and you beat women. You hit your girl before me, and you'll do it again. You're pathetic, and all the people defending you, you whole bitch-ass label everyone. You spreading lies about me. Moral of the story is, if you never put your hands on me, you wouldn't be in this situation, and you just keep making it worse. So it's interesting to see, read this when it says, you spreading lies about me. It's almost like maybe he said something about her that she didn't like, and now she's like calling, like.
Well, yeah, I'm always wary when somebody that's in the same industry is saying this type of thing, because if you notice, the first thing is it's singer-songwriter, right? So you know that she's creative, right? We already know that, and throughout history, the most creative people can also be the most dishonest. Yeah. And vice versa, right? The most dishonest people can be the most creative. So we don't necessarily have good context in this situation. However, I'm never going to take anything away from any woman that's speaking out. If she's speaking out, then maybe for a reason, but it's not going to be up to me to decide why, because I wasn't there. The truth is, that's something between her and him, and for us to place any kind of judgment either way, I don't think is right unless we have facts. Like, for example, in Bow Wow.
Oh, she apparently released some footage.
Like in Bow Wow's situation. Well, see, there you go. Like Bow Wow, like there's footage of him on the elevator getting very aggressive with his girlfriend at the time or whatever. Like he grabbed her wrist and like snatched the keys or whatever it was out of her hand and was very like in her face and it was just like, wow, okay, so there's clearly an anger management issue right there. Clearly.
Yeah, big time, yeah.
And it's just, I mean, it's tough, man. Once you get to that level, you have to really check yourself. You have to really guard your emotions.
So here's a video of him, and he's like apparently at her house. Is this him?
Justine.
Okay. That's it?
That's it.
Okay, so that still doesn't show anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we know that they're involved in some way. That's all we know. So, man, I almost, when I was growing up, I never wanted to deal with being in law enforcement or anything like that. I wanted to be the detective. You know what I mean? To get to the bottom, to investigate all the way, really get to the bottom of a specific situation. And it's like, and that's what prompted me to get into like technology, like 360 cams and being able to, stream a 360 cam, or like imagine a hidden 360 cam that could just stream live,
I don't know, man. It was just like, if that was him, it doesn't show. It just shows him saying her name.
Yeah.
And then he like climbs over like a small entry gate. And then doesn't show him hitting anybody. There's no loud but I don't even know. I mean, I guess it kind of looks like him, but I don't know.
Yeah, and you have to really guard against the possibility of somebody being so angry with you about what you did, or opportunities that they may have missed out on based on you leaving them or whatever it is, that they just they can easily fabricate things against you. All right, we've got some new developments here, and we already got what radio station is it? Hot 97 or?
Like,
yeah,
bitch,
I guess.
pathetic shag, and you beat women. You hit your girl before me.
Uh-huh.
Do it again.
Yo, Sheckwes, this is trash, bro. You're trash. If this is true,
So Shek.
Okay.
So this dude, he says, if this is true, so he's already saying.
Like, Ebro needs to back off, man. Like, I feel like he's lost. I feel like he's genuinely a lost individual that somehow has finessed his way into having a syndicated multinational platform.
Yeah.
And he draws conclusions way too quickly about people and their situations.
Yeah.
It's no question as to why Kodak Black walked out. He was literally trying to indict Kodak Black on the radio, on the air. Like,
Interesting.
Before he even did the interview, Kodak set clear expectations. I do not want to communicate in any way about any cases or anything like that. And the first question that comes out of Ebro's mouth is, "So what about your case? Talk to me about your case." And it's like, come on, dude. Like, and now he's instantly passing a judgment on Sheckwes. Listen, you're trash. Saying just saying you're trash before saying if this is true, then you're trash is trash to me.
Yeah. No,
That's trash to me.
Yeah, I totally agree.
You're trash. Like, if this is true, you're trash.
And I guess yeah.
Don't think before you speak, my man.
Yeah, I just we're talking about it only because we're reading about it and
Dude.
we're not passing any judgments on.
This just came in an hour ago. Side note, real quick.
What's that?
My bad to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
Usher, Rich the Kid, and Entourage were just involved in a studio robbery.
Whoa!
An
What?
armed studio robbery. Yeah.
Oh, they got robbed?
They were just. Yeah. That's
Holy shit!
They're at a studio where Usher was recording, and we just got Usher leaving the studio. Singer appeared fine, but didn't have anything to say about the shooting.
Whoa! Shots were fired?
Reps for Rich the Kid tell us the rapper's doing okay after the incident. Rich the Kid and his entourage came under attack Tuesday afternoon at a famous West Hollywood studio where Usher was also recording. TMZ has learned. Jeez, TMZ is always these guys, man. They just boom. They just get the story. That they literally have paid. It's almost like
They got fucking minions. Like,
Yeah,
you
it's
know
like-
that
it's like
you know
they-
that movie Despicable Me?
Yeah.
That's Disney's TMZ version.
Dude, what if TMZ, just as a conspiracy, is causing these things to happen just so they have sensational headlines to report? Like they're paying goons to run up on people so they can be the first ones to report it.
So do you think that they have any information about what happened in New York when Tupac got robbed?
It's like no. Well,
Do you think-
Tupac, TMZ, bro? We're
No, I
talking
know,
this
I know.
decades after Tupac.
No, but I feel like TMZ that may have been their first one. If you're saying this now, the conspiracy that I'm throwing out there now.
Oh,
I'm throwing a
now
conspiracy
you're
theory
reaching.
now.
You're reaching. You're reaching a little far, buddy. But no, so would that be a stretch though to think? Kind of what was that Jake Gyllenhaal movie? Night Shift or something like that. Night Owl or Nightcrawler?
Nightcrawler.
Yeah,
Nightcrawler, yeah.
Nightcrawler, dude. That was
a good movie.
a creepy movie. That was crazy. Yeah, it was how far will you go to get the story?
Yo, spoiler alert though, for those who haven't seen it, stop listening now.
Pool House Vibes, episode number 4.
Yo, when he goes into that house after those people, he witnesses them being shot, and then he goes in before the cops get there and films it all. Fuck, that shit really happened. You saw that shit go down and you were there. Could you imagine? I can't even imagine. I don't even know what I would do.
You know who I bet you could imagine doing some shit like that? TMZ and Ebro. Oh, dude, that was a good shit.
All right, man. What do you think?
I need some toilet paper.
Need some toilet paper to blow my nose. I think it's good. I think
it's
we'll catch you on the flip side, and we'll end this one right here.
Pool House Vibes.
Pool House Vibes. All right, guys.
Episode number 4.
Hey, thanks for listening. Take care.